Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations.
All right, for those of you in the house, we have tickets for next Saturday's game against Baylor here. Come by, pick them up. You've got your question slips. Already have 3 up here. We'll ask Coach later on. So come on up and get your questions up, and we'll ask those around 6:45.
Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
Ooh. Nice. Nice. Where's the man? About 30 seconds or so.
All right, here we go.
You got it.
On the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield, it's time for Lady Raider basketball with head coach Krista Gerlich. Presented by Rudy's Barbecue, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. Also brought to you by Bud Light. It's for the
10 seconds.
Thank you.
by Reliant Energy, proud partner of Texas Tech Athletics. Now, here's your host, Mark Finkner.
And good evening. Welcome to this edition of Lady Raider basketball here from Rudy's. Absolutely. Put those hands together here on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield as your Lady Raiders now 15-4, 3-3. They've won 2 in a row and 3 of their last 4. As over the course of the next hour, we will talk about the 2 wins this past week at K-State and, of course, the big one. Well, they're all big, I mean, when you get into conference play, but when you beat that Burnt Orange team, that was big last night. We'll talk about that. We'll have a couple of special guests. Hey, you put your hands together for that, absolutely. Coming up at about 6:30, we'll have Ella Tofeono and Tatum Weitenheimer joining us here. 2 of the 5 seniors will join us up here on stage as well. We've got some nuggets. We're going to talk a little bit about the signees. I mean, we got a packed hour as we welcome in the head coach of the Lady Raiders, Coach Krista Gerlich. Coach, good evening.
Hello.
Hey, man. What a feeling after last night.
Yes, it was lots of fun, lots of fun. So exciting to have so many fans in the house and for our kids to play well and with so much fight. And to come out with the win makes it even better. But it was a great, great night for Lady Raider basketball.
You know, I thought one of the turning points in the game last night was coming out to start the second half because at the end of the first half there was a foul called. They claim it was after the whistle. Look at film. Mark's opinion, no. But instead of letting that get you down, you came out 7-0. You had a 10-point lead and really kind of put Texas on their heels. I thought that stretch right at the start of the second half was huge.
I think we definitely set the tone, and we talk about that a lot, about coming out of the locker room and the first 3 minutes of the first half, the first 3 minutes of the second half, to just throw the first punch. And I thought we certainly did that. And, you know, even within that little run, you know, our kids had smiles on their faces. They were having fun. They were executing at a high level. They just had really, really good energy.
Well, obviously last night you kind of packed the paint in because Texas, they don't take a ton of threes. They don't make a ton of threes. Decent percentage, but they just don't shoot a lot. And really kind of packing it inside against them. And, you kind of made them settle for some of those shots, and I know that had to be part of the game plan.
Yes, well, I mean, obviously, we've got to pick our poison with them, and with good teams, sometimes you have to pick your poison. But we felt like, that we wanted them to take the least percentage shot for, I don't know if that's the right words, but, and for them, it is the 3-ball. But also, they're so good in the paint. I mean, they're big. Their point guard gets to the paint really, really well. So we were just doing everything we could to try to keep them out of the paint. And besides, I think they average 40 points in the paint. And so if we can keep them out of the paint and at least I don't know if we could cut it in half or not, but I think we did. And that's
24-22 last night, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic effort.
Well, and really kind of showing some of the 1-3-1 and the 2-3 against them and really kind of, making them a little out of sorts. And that's the thing. When you get into conference, because the way you scout opponents scout you kind of got to have not necessarily new wrinkles, but do some things to make the opponent uncomfortable.
Yeah, you definitely have to, try to limit their strengths as much as possible and kind of expose their weaknesses if you can. And I think teams do that to us as well. But I definitely thought that changing things up at least kept them from getting in a rhythm. We were very concerned about their transition defense, and early we were setting them up for transition offense by taking not great shots or turning the ball over, and they got some wide open looks in a hurry in the first quarter, and we had to talk about that at the first media. And our kids finally settled down and started taking better shots and handled their pressure a little bit better so that they could relax and get some good shots on the offensive end.
Bree Scott had 28 last night. In fact, in all 6 games in the Big 12, she's had at least 18 and 5 straight of 20-plus. And I know that maybe this stretch, I don't know if it's exceeding your expectation, but I know that you saw this in her when you were recruiting her a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there's no doubt we knew that Bree is a fantastic player. She's played in a Final Four, for Coach Schaefer, actually, when they were at Mississippi State. And so she's got that experience. She obviously can play at a really high level, and she's just battled through injuries, obviously unfortunately, the past couple of years. And so for her to be healthy, we knew that she was going to be able to be our go-to player, if you will. But she was going to have some help around her. And I just think that she's really flourishing in her senior year. I think that she's prioritized a lot. I think that she's done some self-evaluations and realized that, hey, this is my last year. I need to put my best foot forward and get the most out of it and really enjoy it. And I think that's what we're seeing Bree Amber Scott do right now is just enjoying her senior year and really enjoying her teammates as well.
No doubt. And to me, going smaller against a team like Texas, I think it really hurt them last night because they had a hard time switching, deciding, all right, if we're going to come up on Bree off the screen, she's going to blow by me. If I play back, she hits the 3 all night. And I really thought that particular lineup, not necessarily without one of your traditional bigs, but with Katie at the 5 and doing some different things, I think really caused them some problems.
Yeah, we certainly were, trying to play chess with them a little bit. And we've kind of taken the approach this year of we don't want to alter what we want to do, to try to match them. We want them to alter for us. And that's a confidence thing, and that's sure. We feel like that they're going to have the bigger issue on that matchup than we are if we go smaller. And I think that Kat and Bree and those kids, just all of them, that really fought hard to rebound the basketball at a disadvantage, when we're smaller like that. And I just thought that they bought into it and they fought hard and they obviously came out on top.
Is there one other thought from the Texas game last night? It's easy to say, all right, Bree Scott, 28 points, Jazz Shavers in double figures again. But our player of the game last night was Kyla Freelon. 12 points, 7 rebounds. These last 2 games, talk about a player just blossoming right in front of you, and it's Kai.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I talked about this last week too, but she has just been so coachable and just so ready for her opportunity. And that's what you want as coaches is, you have to prepare these freshmen when they come in that it's not high school basketball anymore. It's going to be a little bit tougher. It's going to be a little bit harder for you to get minutes. It's going to be harder for you to do well, and I think that she just stayed ready. And that's what you have to do whenever you don't know when your opportunity is coming, but when it does, you have to be ready. And she's been ready. She watched film with Coach JC 4 times this past week by her. I mean, like on her own. I'm coming in, I'm watching, because she wanted to be prepared for her opportunity. And I think that she's just done a fabulous job of busting down the door of opportunity.
Well, and I'll say this, in sitting with the team in Manhattan this past weekend and seeing how dialed in she was when she was called upon, I mean, it was more than, I mean, she knew personnel. She knew exactly what their strengths and weaknesses were. I mean, you could tell she's really delved in and really dialed into the scouting report. Now I'm beginning to understand the importance of that.
Absolutely. That's another thing that freshmen have to learn, right? Is that like we scout, we study, you have an assignment, and you have a very small window for error. And that if you don't know the scout, like it's going to be difficult for you to be on the floor. And so I think she's really bought into that. She's a super smart girl. And, you know, what I love, too, about what I think we're watching happen, and it's true for her, it's true for Jasmine, it's true for Bailey, and it's also, I mean, true for Riley and Saga, you know, our underclassmen, is that they love our seniors. And our seniors have done a great job of leading them and building them up and making them feel valued for this season. And I think what we're seeing is those freshmen, those younger kids, just playing their tails off for the year that they get to play with those seniors. And I don't know if y'all have seen all the Instagram posts and all that, but one of the pictures that's my absolute favorite is Kyla hugging Ella, or Ella's hugging Kyla.
Right, last night.
And that's a senior uplifting a freshman who might have gotten a couple more minutes than she did, right? But
right.
She was just so proud of what she was doing to help us win, and Kyla was so happy to be able to fulfill that role for our team.
Well, I'll tell you what, the crowds have been great. Crowd here tonight has been great. And I want a thought here. I have a note here that says, haven't won since. And the fact that going on the road on Saturday to Morgantown, trying to win 3 in a row on the road. You go to Fort Worth 2 weeks ago, 1 win in 9 years, win. Last Saturday in Manhattan, no win since 2015, win. Headed to West Virginia, no win since 2015. We hope another win there. Does this team play with a chip on its shoulder even now?
Well, I think our seniors are like, I mean, they've taken note, right? I mean, I've got one that's been here for 3 years and two, a couple that have been here for 2. And they've taken note. And even the ones that we have that haven't played at Tech all 4 years or 5 years, however many they've played now, they've played in the Big 12. And they take note of where they've won and where they haven't. And I think that they are really, playing with a chip and playing with momentum. And they're playing with senior urgency, which is really important, I think, to have. And when you realize that as a senior and you can actually play that way, great things happen, you know, and especially when you can get the younger kids on board with you, which they have.
That's the point right there. Not only is it the seniors, but the younger thinking, hey, my time has got to be now, because a lot of freshmen, sophomore think, I got 2 years, I got 3 years.
Yeah.
No, it's here and now.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what I mean, is that you just don't know how. I know they love playing, like I just said, they love playing with those seniors, but like I gave them an example just the other day, like I was fortunate my senior year to win a national championship. Well, Melinda White was a freshman on that team, and that's the only national championship we won, right?
Right.
And it was her freshman year, and so that's super important. You just never know. So, hopefully some really great things will happen, but I think our freshmen are going, hey, we want to do this while these seniors are here, and then hopefully after they do that, they'll do it. They'll do it again and again and again.
The next year, and the next.
You just don't know, yeah.
No doubt. Well, hey, we're off to a great start tonight here at Rudy's. Glad that you're with us. We've got tickets. Come by and pick those up. We've already got questions for Coach coming up about 6:45. The question slips are out there. Fill those out. Bring those up as well. When we come back here to Rudy's at Slide in the South Loop, we're going to talk a little bit more about, we might touch a little bit more on the Texas game, but also talk a little bit about the future. I mean, there's a lot to play for the rest of this year, of course, but the 3 signees, we've not talked about the newcomers that are coming, and we'll visit with Coach Gerlich about that and more. When we come back here to Rudy's at Slide in the South Loop here after this time out of the Tech Sports Network from Learfield. Thank you, sir. Austin, how much time we got left here? Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. As that was the call the other night in Manhattan, as we welcome you back here to Rudy's here at Slide and the South Loop for this edition of Lady Raider Basketball with Coach Krista Gerlich. Tonight's show, as always, being hosted by our friends here at Rudy's. Make a basketball move here to Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Enjoy that 100% Hill Country smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauce, and delicious sides. Don't forget, they can cater 10, they can cater for 100. You just call them right here in Lubbock, 806-797-1777 here at Rudy's at Slide and the South Loop. As your questions continuing to come in here as well, we may have to cut this segment short and start asking questions. We're getting so many. All right, we got another one. Thank you, Ms. Sheila. All right, we'll start getting the questions here shortly. We still have some tickets left for Tech and Baylor a week from Saturday. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the three signees that you've got coming in, that you signed in the early period. First one being a McDonald's All-American candidate right now in Logan Johnson, who's playing at Houston Christian, and I mean, she's tearing it up. Yeah, she's a really, really talented player and is having a great senior year. They're trying to repeat as state champions, and she is going to be an impact player very quickly. She's going to be that kid that can defend in the full court, can defend a Rory Harmon for us, if you will. Nice.
Her offensive game really developed this past summer. She can get to the hole really, really physical and explosive. And then her three ball is really becoming deadly, which is great. So all three levels, tough mentality. She's just going to be a game changer for us. I'm excited about her. No doubt. The local product, Kelly Mora from Monterey, the Lady Plainsmen are ranked number 1 right now in the state in Class 5A. Yeah, I hope we get another state champion, right?
There you go, you bet.
But Kelly, Kelly is going to transition to the college game, I think, really, really well, because she's going to be a mismatch problem for people. I hope that we can develop her guard skills and move her out to the perimeter a little bit, which she already has a terrific shot, but she's so strong and has such a nose for the ball. She's one of those kids that can catch it on the block and touch pass to open shooters when she sees help. She's a really good passer. Much like Big Cat, kind of? Yes. But she's so physical. Like, she really enjoys the physicality. Not that Big Cat doesn't. We all know. Right. We all know Big Cat likes physicality as well. Right. But it's just different. It's just a little bit different. But she's just got a really bright future and a lot of potential, and I'm expecting big things from her. And the third one being Achol Magat, who obviously, unless you've really been following, you don't know much about her. She's from Arizona, but she's 6'7", and that's one thing you can't coach. Yeah, she's 6'7" and a lefty, and I love that. So she's going to have high potential. She'll be a kid that we're going to really work on when she gets here to develop some skill on the block. She has nice touch. She's got really good hands. But, when we're going to have to work on some footwork and some things like that. But, goodness, 6'7", has good touch on the ball, good hands, great body, and can run the floor. She's agile for 6'7" as well. So we're looking – all three of those kids just feel a different, need for us and are really going to have some big roles on our team. Our Minister of Information, Andrew Stern, came up with a great nugget today. One of many here, but this one to me speaks volumes. After beating Texas last night, Tech is one of only 4 teams in the country and the only one in the Big 12 that has 3 wins against teams in the top 20 in the net rankings that the NCAA is using. Hey, put your hands together for that. Absolutely. And, we knew the Colorado win would be big.
we knew Middle Tennessee win was going to be big, and now the Texas win last night, and just building that resume. Are you looking at the net rankings right now? Have you been looking at them for a while?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we keep up with for sure, because we want to. It helps us in our scheduling for next year, the year after. We schedule out really early, and so we need to know like what factors are hurting us, what factors are helping us, and so really even before non-conference was over, we were struggling with our net ranking because the team now it matters how much you beat people. And so we weren't the people we were beating. We were supposed to beat, but we weren't beating them enough to raise our net ranking at the time.
Right.
Obviously, and that's the thing too that people don't understand is that you can schedule non-conference, but when you're in the Big 12, your non-conference schedule doesn't have to be a gauntlet because the Big 12 is going to be.
Right.
And as you get in the Big 12, every game you play helps your net ranking. Even if you lose, it helps because you're playing very good teams.
Oh, no question. I mean, the fact that 9 of the 10 teams in the Big 12 right now are in the top 70 nationally in the net rankings, no doubt. Hey, before we get to questions, I do want to again talk. We talked about this a little bit last week, but want to emphasize this. We have tickets for the Baylor game, and that's great. But around that whole weekend, we've got the Letterman's reunion. We've got the celebration of the anniversary of the national championship team. We've got National Girls and Women's and Sports Day Camp. I mean, just a lot of things going on.
There is, and there's something for everyone. So we hope that people will come out and just celebrate women in sports, right? So if you've got young girls, they can come to the clinic, and it doesn't just have to be basketball, right? I mean,
Right.
It's going to be the other sports at Texas Tech, and their athletes are going to be there. Their coaches are going to be there. It's going to be a great clinic on that Saturday morning before our game. And then at our game, there's going to be, the alumni, the Lady Raider alumni are going to be there. We've had over 80 RSVP, which is fantastic.
Nice.
So there's a very good chance that you're going to see one of your favorite Lady Raiders, and hopefully you have more than one. But it's going to cross the decades. I mean, we're going to cross the decades of Lady Raiders that are going to be in attendance. So I'm super excited about that. And then, of course, a little bit closer to home, it's the celebration of the 30-year reunion of the national championship team, and we're having a really good turnout for that, and hopefully we'll have everybody, represented and here in some form or fashion.
That will be a wonderful weekend next weekend. All right, let's get to some questions here because we've got a bunch here. All right, Coach, this is from Greta, and she says, what is the rule when the basketball gets stuck between the rim and the goal? Who really should have been allowed to have possession of the ball?
It's a jump ball. Yeah, because it's a jump ball. So whoever has the possession arrow gets the possession.
Yeah, but, Chuck and I were kind of talking about that a little bit last night. Like, okay, the instance we're talking about is Texas is the one that throws it up and it gets stuck in there. And you think, okay, naturally, they're the ones that got it stuck in there. The ball's not going in the basket. Why doesn't it go to the other team?
Because both teams didn't have the opportunity to rebound it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of Lady Raiders.
But how about Cooper getting his ups and getting that ball out of there?
Man. He just won
I
attempt.
had to give a shout-out to Cooper.
There you go. All right, Sheila asked this question. How is Bailey and Ashley, and how long may they be out?
They're good. I mean, they're both good. Bailey got a really good report, and hers is still game to game, day to day. But she got a good report, so that's fantastic. And Ashley will be back for this next game.
All right, awesome. All right, Eric asked, I've seen many of the home games the past few years, but the energy last night was different. What are you and your staff saying to the team about the history of this program?
Obviously, Planette has played in more sellouts in the USA than I have since I didn't even play in the USA, but just sellouts for women's basketball as well. And we tell them all the time about, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. And because West Texas just supports women's basketball so well. And even last night in the huddle before we came out for tip, and the atmosphere was electric, and the girls were hopping around or whatever, and I told them to look around, and I said, you're building this, and I said, they're coming here for you, and that you need to enjoy this, and I said, y'all deserve it, because they've worked so hard, they've done what we've asked them to do, and yes, and now you'll capture them, right? Go give them a reason to come back, and I think they certainly did.
Well, no doubt about it. Do you like the pyrotechnics?
I love it, but it scares me, and it kind of singes my eyebrows every time. It gives a little heat flash, right?
It does.
I know.
You feel the heat down there on
Yeah.
the floor. There is no doubt, but I'm with you. I love the pyro and the smoke and all that last night. Well, Coach, we're going to let you step aside for just a little bit. When we come back on Lady Raider Basketball with the head coach, we're going to let Coach grab a bite, and we're going to have Ella Tofeono and Tatum Weitenheimer come up on stage as we visit with 2 of the 5 Lady Raider seniors, and we'll do that when we come back here to Rudy's after this timeout on the Tech Sports Network from Learfield. Thanks, sir. Thank you. As we welcome you back here to Rudy's at Slide and the South Loop, glad that you are with us as you hear those highlights from our special guest. As we welcome them up, you bet, give them a big hand. Tatum Weitenheimer and Ella Tofeono. Ladies, good evening. How are you?
Good.
Good. All right. I'll tell you what, before we get into a bunch of the personal stuff, each one of you just tell me your favorite thing about last night's game. Tatum, you first.
I got to go with the first play of the game.
Right there, what we just heard. Right
Getting the
there.
and one to start the game is a great feeling.
You know, I don't know how many people had that on their bingo cards last night. Tatum and one to start the game, but hey, great. Ella, you.
Probably when Kat was bringing it down and Kyla was rim running, and she's like, go Kyla, and like just finds her at the perfect spot. And then we're on the sideline, and like I'm like sitting next to Coach P, and she's like just having one of those moments, and Kyla just turned around and kissed it off the backboard. As soon as it left her hand, I was like, this place is going to erupt.
All right, now I think we're going to actually hear that highlight because that's the one kind of late in the game.
Yes.
All right, we're going to hear that highlight coming up in a little bit. All right, ladies, your adventure here did not start here in the college ranks. So I kind of want each one of you to kind of talk about your experiences in the recruiting process when you came out of high school and your thoughts, because obviously, Ella, for you it was different coming from overseas, from Australia here. Tell us a little bit about the process and how you ended up at Midland Junior College.
So Ellie she didn't really like math at school, so she had to take a different route academically, and so I was trying to kind of figure out my life and figure out what I wanted to do. And in Australia, you either pick whether you want to stay in Australia and go through the professional ranks and like play for a club and pay for your own university and go work and then just show up to practice a couple of times during the week, or you choose the collegiate route. And so it just kind of came over me. I was like, well, what's going to hurt going over to America all the way from Australia? So then, I was looking at going at a couple of Division I schools, but I'll be honest, I didn't academically qualify. And so then the junior college route kind of came about, and just exploring those options. And then Midland College reached out and contacted me through one of those schools. And so then, the rest was kind of history. My mom actually looked up Midland and the other school that I was looking at, and she was like, this is a safe town to go to. So, I mean, that's all she really cared about. And so then it ended up being the best 3 years of my life. And, hence why I'm back at Texas Tech, because it's in this area, and West Texas is very special. So that's kind of how my journey started, and, yeah, super grateful for it.
No doubt. All right, Tatum, you're from Windthorst.
Yes, sir.
Most people know where Windthorst is, near Wichita Falls. So out of high school, you end up at that Crimson and Cream school, but obviously there's a lot of different factors involved in the recruiting process for you.
Of course, yeah. So out of high school, I felt like I made a lot of great connections with a bunch of different coaches that I still have to this day, but it was really just about finding a place that felt like family and felt like home, because basketball has always been bigger than just a game to me. And yes, sir, I did play at Crimson Cream. That's where I found that. And then the second process, just with Coach Gerlich and stuff, I felt that same energy and things here.
Well, and that's where I wanted to go next, because neither one of you obviously started here, but you're going to finish here. Mm-hmm. But take me through why you chose to leave where you were at A&M, OU, and end up coming back to Lubbock. Tatum.
So I graduated in 3 years at Oklahoma with my degree, and then going into that fourth year, the whole reason that I chose OU was because of Sherry Cole. I just loved her coaching style and who she was as a person. And then after the season was over, she called us in, told us she was going to be retiring. But I was still loyal to OU. I didn't plan on leaving until the next coach came in and told us that she was going away with the graduate assistant position, which was just super important for me for the next step in my life, because I want to be a basketball coach. And because the GA program is it's so valued here at Tech, and our GAs are great, and I think they get real firsthand experience that I thought was valuable. And so I talked to Coach Gerlich, and we talked about that, and we talked about coming and playing for a couple years, and then that's my next step. So really, it was a hard decision to leave OU because that was my alma mater. It was like my first love, kind of. But at the same time, I had to do what was best for me. And being here at Tech, I've just fell in love with Lubbock and West Texas in this place.
Ella, how about you?
I got pretty homesick. I didn't realize how far 7 hours was from Midland. So, and there's only one way in, one way out. And so family is like a huge part of my life, and especially my family here in West Texas. I just wanted to enjoy my last 2 years of college playing in front of my family and my friends and all the connections that I made in this area. And so that was really important to me, especially seeing my little brother and my little sister, or little big brother, he'll say that. And then also, when I got in the transfer portal, it was really eclectic. Was going through a lot, and I was super overwhelmed. But Coach Gerlich reached out to me, and I mean, I think I've mentioned this story before, but she had a pretty significant surgery, and I mean, I'm pretty sure she was in her like hospital bed, and I could like hear things in the background. But she literally had just gotten out of surgery, and that kind of spoke volumes to me about the person that she was, and just the way that I felt. I didn't feel like I was getting recruited or like things were, kind of being poured out like we can this. It's just she wanted to wholeheartedly want to get to know me. And, I just really appreciated that because, that doesn't really happen in the recruiting process as much anymore, just people wanting to get to know you. So, yeah.
No doubt. All right, ladies, tell me a little bit about your season goals here as fifth-year seniors.
I have 2. One's kind of like basketball, so definitely to make the tournament. In all my time as a college athlete, I haven't made the tournament, so that's for basketball. And then secondly is just leaving a legacy as a leader behind for those kids that are underneath me to follow and take in, so we can really get the culture of Texas Tech where we want it to be.
Ella?
I would say the same thing. Yeah, definitely that postseason experience, NCAA tournament. And then just like working on like my personal development, just like with consistency and like working through things and just overcoming like internal battles, I guess you could say. So yeah, definitely that.
All right, for each one of you, and I've asked all the other seniors this question. The best part about being a Lady Raider is what? Ella, you first.
Being an ambassador for West Texas, period.
Okay. Tatum?
I would just say the support that we get. You don't see it a lot in women's sports in a lot of places, and just the way that the community is just really behind you and loves you is just terrific here.
Well, and speak to that a little bit because of the crowds that we had. I mean, for Education Day game, we had over 13,000 in the house. For Iowa State on New Year's Eve, almost 6. Had over 5,600 last night. And, I mean, we'll go to a place on Saturday where they may not draw 1,500 on Saturday. I mean, it definitely is. It definitely is different. And just speak to the importance and how special it is for y'all to play in front of crowds like you're playing in front of right now.
Well, I just think it changes the energy. It hypes us up. It keeps us going, and it's awesome. Obviously, also a factor for the other. Thank you. A factor for the other team to have to play through that, because I've played in a program where we've had fans like West Virginia where there's been nobody there, and it's hard because when you're tired you have to bring that energy yourself like on the bench, and it's just not as loud. But whenever you have people backing you, it's hard to play against that.
Ella, how about you? Just the importance of playing in front of so many fans.
I mean, we were really excited for yesterday's game and like the turnout, and like Tatum said, it just like is a massive energizer, and so yeah, I would be right there with what Tatum just said.
All right, ladies. Before we let you go, I also ask everyone a couple of questions. All right, your favorite pregame ritual. What is that? Or do you have one?
Yes.
Okay.
So I work left to right on everything, like left sock.
Right sock. Okay.
Yes, and I like getting ready for work, like putting on my uniform. So I put it on a particular way. Obviously, undergarments, shorts, top, fix my hair, put my makeup on. Yeah, I'm ready to go to work.
All right. So and it's the same every game.
Same every game.
Same every game.
Yep, and then same playlist. I have to go out to a very calm song. I can't be too high, I can't be too low, just mellow. Just
kind of mellow. All
Yep.
right. All right. Tatum, how about you?
My favorite ritual definitely has to be Bryn Gerlich braiding my hair.
Yeah.
Don't know what I would do without her.
Yeah, if she's not sitting on the ground before we go out getting her hair fixed and something's up, like it just messes up everything.
All right. Favorite snack? Is it sweet or salty?
I'm gonna go sweet.
Sweet? All right. What is it?
Probably Hershey's chocolate bar.
Okay, nice. Ella?
Does it have to be Australian or American?
It can be whatever you want it to be.
I'm going to say caramel koala. Jared's sister just went to Australia and she brought me some back and it was like Christmas.
All right, so explain what this is.
It's like a chocolate bar, but real chocolate, not Hershey's. That stuff called Hershey's, and it's filled with
okay.
Easy now.
Yeah, it's filled with caramel. Like it's excellent. I'll bring you one.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
real.
we'll have about 6 hours on a plane here the next couple of days.
I have one at home.
Okay, all right. All right, take it to the bank. All right. Ladies, as always, thank you so much. You're great ambassadors for the program, as all you seniors have been this year, and it's just been a joy to watch you play and just continue to get better. And, yeah, let's end up in that big four-letter tournament when the season's over.
Yes, sir.
Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tatum Weidenheimer, Ella Tofeono joining us here at Rudy's at Slide in the South Loop. The time on the Texas Tech Sports Network is 6:41. Coach G will come back, visit with us. We'll preview West Virginia a little bit. We've got more questions. You still have time to get your questions up, and we've got some tickets left for the Baylor game coming up a week from Saturday. But right now we take this time out. We've got more here from Rudy's after this on the Tech Sports Network from Learfield. Thanks, sir. Well, and Tech did to an extent last night against Texas as Bree Scott had 28 in the win. As we welcome you back here to Rudy's at Slide and the South Loop. Make that basketball move here to Rudy's Country Store Barbecue. Enjoy 100% Hill Country smoked meats, Rudy's signature sauce, and delicious sides. As we continue our visit with the head coach of the Lady Raiders, Coach Krista Gerlich. All right, Coach, we got more questions here, so let's get into them. We got Mark, not me, but another Mark in the audience. He's got a couple of questions here for you. One, tell us about the recruiting of Big Cat.
The first time or the second time?
I would say this time.
Yeah. Well, she graduated. They played in the NCAA tournament last year. They did awesome. And then she graduated, and she actually thought she was done playing. She was kind of over it. She was done, and she was just working. And then I think she had a change of heart and was like, yeah, maybe working's not all it's cracked up to be. And she decided to get in the transfer portal and just see what was happening. And man, we immediately called her, and I was like, girl, if you're going to play one more year, you better come play it for us. And she just jumped at it, and it was fantastic.
All right, Mark's other question. Does she have a younger sister?
She does not.
Okay.
She does have an older brother, but not a younger sister.
All right, here we go. All right, Jim with a question. Which is more pleasurable, beating Texas or beating Vic? Oh.
All in the same. All in the same. All in the same.
All in the same.
Yeah,
all
all in the same.
All right. Donna has a question here, and this one's kind of interesting. Who is your go-to person on your outfit for the games? Is it Bryn, your husband, another coach, your mom, or an assistant coach?
I don't know. I mean, I will say that, like, most of the, I will say Linda helps me quite a bit. Linda helps me quite a bit, but a lot of times I'll pick something, and I always do it the night before because on game day, like, I can't be concerned
distracted,
about that.
right.
Yes. And so I will send a few selfies to Bryn and go, yes or no? You know, like, do I look like I'm trying to be you, or am I okay? She's very honest with me, so that's a good thing.
All right, Greta has a question here. Is it just me? Let me see here. I'm trying to read this, so I'm sorry. But I think we played against 8 all night last night. Now, I will say this. Again, I thought the call at the end of the first half was very questionable at the end of the first half. But in some respects, I thought and I'm not going to have you comment on this, but I think it was a fairer whistle last night than in some other games we've had this year. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not going to have you comment on that, but that's just my
Let her
2
ask my
cents.
dad.
Oh, right. Well, as a coach, all right. Jim, you agree with that, yes or no? No. Okay. No. Okay. All right. All right, Coach, let's talk before our final timeout here. Let's talk about Saturday's opponent in West Virginia having to put last night's great win behind you because back on the court on a 3-hour flight in less than roughly 36 to 40 hours from now against West Virginia.
Yeah, because that's an early game. We play at 1 o'clock West Virginia time, which is 12 o'clock here.
Yes.
So that is an early game. And we will travel all day tomorrow and have a shoot around in their arena there tomorrow night, like at 7:30. So it is a quick turnaround, a quick prep. West Virginia is a very good basketball team. They have a new coach. They upset Baylor this year. She does a great job with them. They've got some returners, little guards that are really, really talented, but much like the one we saw last night. It'll be a tough game, and especially at West Virginia. That's a tough place to play. And, I'm excited because we've got a lot of people going with us. So we may have a presence there, which is nice. I'm gonna tell all of you now, just beware because they fire the musket. Isn't it a musket?
Yeah, they fire. Yeah, right.
Yeah, at halftime, and it scares the bejesus out of you. So
right.
just be ready for that. But it'll be a great game. It'll be high intensity. It'll be really, really tough, real physical. But I'm excited about the opportunity, and our kids will be up for that task as well. And can I just tell you really quick, quick story, because people just need to know what great coaches we have at Texas Tech. Joey McGuire texts me before every game. Debbie and I are good friends. His wife and I are good friends. He texts me before every game, and it gives me the let's go. And he was out recruiting, so he wasn't at the game. And I ran into one of the other football coaches last night, and he said, during your game, I was at your game, and he goes, I was on the phone with Joey, and Joey's watching your game on, mind you, in Austin. He's in Austin, actually, recruiting, and watching your game on the phone. And he goes, and I'm talking to him while I'm at the game, and he's screaming at his phone, rebound! I'm like, weren't we all, right? Weren't we all?
Right.
And I said, and of course, Coach Perry told him, he's like, they're going to win. It's okay. Calm down, Coach. Calm down. But this is my story about that, is that today he sends me a text, and it's a picture of these locker room doors, and on it says, what's next? And I was like, is this a video? Like, are the doors about to open? Like, what's going to happen? And it's just a picture. So I text him, and I go, is this a video? And then, so he calls me. And he was like, no, it's not a video. He goes, it's just he goes, 24 hours, right? 24 hours. What's next? West Virginia. Get your mind right. Let's go.
Oh, wow. How about that? How about
and
that?
I'm like, that's big time. Like, he's coaching me, right, to say, hey, this is what you do. Like, this is how you do it. Like, come on, let's go. Keep it rolling.
Let's go.
That's the kind of coaches we have here. And I got a text from almost every one of our head coaches after last night's win. So I love the unity here at Tech.
No doubt. Some final thoughts with the head coach when we come back after this time on the Tech Sports Network from Learfield. Okie doke. All right, 6:53 right now. Okay. Well, if I can get my phone open here. All right, we'll set up the.
It says y'all lost.
Okay.
Y'all lost y'all sound on Facebook.
Huh. Okay. Huh. Well, that would be. Tim Hayes, are you in the house? Yeah, if you don't mind, Bree, thank you. She just got a text about losing audio. Do we have audio there? Huh. That's odd. She got a text that somebody on Facebook wasn't able to hear it. But there is audio going out. Okay. All right. Very good. You have audio? Okay, very good.
Proud of our Red Raiders as they leave it all on the court. And proud of Texas Tech, the school that has shaped the landscape of West Texas. And Plains Capital Bank supporting the Lubbock community is just part of who we are.
Have
and
audio.
that's why we're right there with you, cheering on the Red Raiders at every
All right, Austin,
game.
you said we have about
Plains
30
Capital Bank
seconds
is a
before
proud
the
partner of
close.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Okay, after the highlight. Okay,
Plains
thank you.
Capital Bank, member FDIC.
For 10 years, the West Texas Land Guys have been turning land into dreams. West Texas Land Guys specialize in developing raw land into builder-ready master plan communities. Having developed hundreds of acres across 10 successful communities in the Lubbock area alone, West Texas Land Guys is one of Lubbock's premier land developers. Whether you're thinking of selling land or want to buy a lot for your dream home, we've got you covered. Visit westtexaslandguys.com to see how we're developing the future.
Cybersecurity is a growing concern for all businesses. At CTSI, we remind you to implement cyber defense solutions to protect you. Call CTSI today and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation. We'll create a roadmap that is customized for you and secures your business. CTSI is a Lubbock-built, operated, and owned company with a second location in Amarillo. For 37 years, we've served the Texas Panhandle, West Texas, the Permian Basin, and eastern New Mexico. And we work every day to earn your business. Call CTSI now at 806-793-8961 or go to ctsinet.com.
Hey, it's Lauren with the Home Zone. It's basketball season and we are fully stocked for all your appliance and furniture needs. Refrigerators, ranges, laundry, living room, dining and bedroom, all in stock and ready for same-day pickup or free local delivery. We have the lowest prices in town or easy in-house financing with low monthly payments. Friendly staff, unbeatable customer service, Texas Tech alumni owned and operated, and proud Texas Tech corporate partners. Check out our website at homezonetx.com or come see us at 3225 50th Street. The Home Zone, helping you make your house a home.
At Billwell Chevy, we treat you like family. We make car buying easy as can be.
Hey folks, Brian Bruce here at Billwell Chevrolet. We're not just a Chevrolet dealership. We sell Buick and GMC as well. In fact, we have the largest inventory in Plainview with new 23s arriving daily. Call, come by, or click BillwellChevrolet.com. And just like GMC, we are professional grade at Billwell, where your next car is in plain view.
Looking for the best Texas Tech gear? Then shop with the official retailer of Texas Tech.
30 seconds.
30. All right, thank you.
We have everything Texas Tech at shopthematador.com.
Your
And
mic's back
enjoy
up.
free shipping.
You'll hear the
Shop for
highlight,
Under
and
Armour
then I'll
coaches
pause it.
sideline and on the
And
field
we'll only have
players
about
gear.
30
Shop for brand
seconds or
names
so.
like Texas Tech Yeti drinkware and stylish.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
The Matador is proud to be locally owned, alumni, and student operated. We are loyal and passionate about Texas Tech. ShopTheMatador.com.
Harmon trying to take Shavers off the dribble. Pass intercepted by the big cat. Trying to feed inside. Farrell. Lob Freelon inside. Kai turns off the glass and in. Top angle, but she put it in. Minute 40 to go in the game, and Krista Gerlich with her mouth open like, oh my. Well, it was definitely an oh my moment last night as Kai with the final basket. It's the last 5 points at the free throw line, and in that win against Texas. Well, Coach, it's hard to believe these shows are already done for the year. It's been great fun. It's always great to see the players come out and have the fans come out and enjoy and interact with the program.
Well, absolutely, and this is such a great crowd, the best one all year. Appreciate it so much, and we know we're just getting started though, so you guys keep coming out to the games, and I thank you so much for being here. And Mark, you've just done such a great job. You make this so easy, and thank you for bringing such a great light to our program.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right, our broadcast on Saturday from Morgantown, 11:30 in the morning with a pregame and a noon tip Central Time with Chuck and yours truly. For the head coach, for Ella and Tatum, I'm Mark Finkner. We will see you in Morgantown Saturday. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to Lady.
You are clear.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep, have a good night.
You bet. Thank you now. Great job, Austin.
Yep, you too.